Statement. I'm Abraham Morris and I write for the Improvised Gaye newspaper. You allege that there are people wanting to assassinate the president as well, create war or chaos in that way. You care to state them for the record? Thank you.
Next question.
Alphonso for the Liberia Public Radio base in the U.S. I currently visit the entire. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Here is my question. For the most part that I listened to, I repeatedly heard more than 3 times the former president of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Ellen Johnson, saying. So my concern here, you as a powerful chairman of the ruling party, one of the powerful presidents, does that mean, is there some sort of doubt or questions the former president yet to answer? And if so, why is the ruling party of the coalition is not pushing forward those questions now?
Next, the last one.
That's all.
Okay, all right. All right, so the first question. Let me re-echo what I had said earlier before I get easily misunderstood. I did not allege that people are planning to assassinate the president. I did not say that. I said there are a few supporters of the 3 political parties that we've documented that post on social media calling on people to take up arms against the president. And one of them came up to say that the president should be assassinated. Now to say the president should be assassinated and to say people want to assassinate are 2 different things. So I did not say they want to assassinate. I don't have the capacity.
No way.
But I raised these issues because since these comments were made in public, I'm yet to see the 3 political parties coming up in vehement denial or in condemnation. And it's a public statement. It's out there on social media.
Sure.
One of them even, I think they say he's the advisor of Mr. Cummings. If I play for you the audio of how this guy disparaged native people. Now, I don't believe in native American Liberian politics. Because for me, all Liberians are equal, they are one. So, any debate about creating class divide that pits one group against the other is reprehensible. It should not be countenanced or supported. But I'm going to highlight to you the mindset of the communist people. And I will repost this video on my page for those of you that may not have had a chance to see it, so you're going to do it. The man is saying in the open that native people don't belong in Monrovia. And that they should go back for the village. They should not be here. And this is a relative or the quote-unquote advisor to Mr. Cummings. He said he's coming to Liberia. In fact, he said they are coming to Liberia to take their country back. Because the natives do not belong in Monrovia. I can't even use those comments like you because it's so disparaging. He insulted people calling names and he would refer to animals. So I'm not going to repeat, those kind of comments. And since this video was posted, this man is supposed to be the advisor, as it is said, to Mr. Cummings. In fact, he is a relative to him. Not a single statement has been issued by the ANC. There's only that kind of politics. So, which is a tacit endorsement of that politics by the Cummings people. So, no wonder Cummings has said also, they will take our country back. So, when they say our country, they are referring to American Liberians that are returning to Liberia. That's what they mean. I don't support that, but that is the agenda of the communist people. And the reason why you should easily believe that is because there's a Kennedy that went to Maryland and they were carrying hammer. I mean, what I'm saying is that you saw it. So he's telling you what you will do to you if you were to ever have a chance to come close to any public office. So I did not say there are people that are planning to overthrow, to assassinate. I said they are supporters of the three parties that have been saying that. And not a single word of condemnation has come from their political leaders. So which in my view is a tacit endorsement of that mindset. Second question has to do with my allegation that the previous government created the mess that we are now in. That's a factual statement. When they were changing the Lpr-Tv, we told them it will lead to economic damage. It will create problems with our economy because the money was then softened, but it's still dead. When they were stealing from public coffers, we told them all about the economy. So you see the disparaging of the Liberian dollar or its victimization because of the poor policies of the former regime. So we want to state that to let people know that we are doing our best to clean a mess that was created not by us, but by the former government. President, we have inherited what we are in today. And if any other party has become president, it will be the same thing. You will still inherit the same thing, the same mess. But thank God he took policies and steps by infusing $25 million into the economy that sort of stabilized it to a level and stop the escalation of the exchange rate. So we thank God for that, and there are other measures that will be taken to stabilize the economy. So I meant to just make a statement of fact that these are the same people that undermine our government. Like Kofi Woos. How can you be talking about corruption when you are public works and you go there now? The records are very clear that under his leadership, that place was a rogue institution. That place was seeking corruption. They were selling cement meant to build road. Look at the other road. They were selling cement by bag. Only Kofi Woos was selling cement by bag from the road project. They were waiting and then they put it up and they begin to go around the local buyer for cement, bring pick up, unload it with cement and go sell it. Honor him. Honor him. So he wants to be a Borough boy. Come up now and go to our radio and talk nonsense. But these are the people that polish our resources, that created the basis for the demands of our economy. They cannot be the one now to make themselves look like they are revolutionaries. For who? For themselves. You get in China, you will see. So we say these things to warn the public that these are now your savior. When you see them, run from them because they are enemies of your cause. The only man that can stay and die for, that will always be a hero of the masses, is His Excellency George Manoria. That's right. What the last question? So thank you. So we want to make it very clear again. I did not say there are people planning to assassinate. I said there are people that have been making this comment on social media. They are supporters of these political parties that call themselves opposition political parties or a coalition. But not a single statement of condemnation has come from them. In grammar, we call that tacit endorsement, tacit approval. It means that going on talk or you approve
So at this point we will take our benediction, but before that one recognize the presence of the Deputy for Administration at the National Port Authority, Madam Celia Coffee Brown. So at this point we invite on this podium the Chaplain General of Montserrat County, Mr. Wilfred Y. Morgan, for our benediction.
Praise the Lord. I want to bless God for our chairman. As we all know in the world, that Liberia has a very gullible society. When we say gullible society, it's a society that are carried away by records on the media. So the press conference is always necessary to clarify certain doubts. So I want to bless God for this press conference. Let us stand so we can pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we come to say thank you. Pray, dear Jesus, that your grace will continue to abide with this government. with this president, Father, in this party, all Liberian, the least in Liberia, oh Lord. We have reason and causes to say thank you, Jesus. We bless you in Jesus' name.
I am Lamont from Tenant Lights and Fort.
Yeah, well, your statement today, isn't it still complaining, sir? You are in a governing state now, and we still seeing, instead of us hearing what's going to be happening in 2019, we still seeing what the past government did. Is that complaining? Okay, all right. Well, that's a clear mention of the ruling party. That is the Democratic Change Coalition. We will be back here. Congress for Democratic Change, CDC. I just addressed the voters. We are still here, and we hope that the chairman will sit with us and be sitting with other political parties to give them the fair shot in order to get their sides of the economy. And we'll try to see if we can talk to other folks, the Liberia Public Radio based in the U.S., but we are here this afternoon. This is the headquarters of the ruling CDC. On where we are at is known as the Sacramento tree. We hope to get the definition how it came about. But with me here with a gentleman, you will introduce himself and we'll get a word. Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Eugene S. Georgine, the Vice Chair for Political Affairs and also
Thank you very much for giving us this interview. Is it a tradition here? Is this routinely happening here at the headquarters?
Yes, of course. If we see any delegate related to the government, the chairman for organization how to proceed. So it's normal.
But the chairman was able to only take 3 questions on the 4 essay. Is that sufficient to address all these issues?
I think the chairman will be the best to answer that, but I think provided all this information the press want to hear, I think they don't need to follow it asking questions.
For you being a political person, is that something that you buy into or do you think the chairman will go for?
I think the chairman will clear the audience in doubt. So all this information was provided. So I think yes, but if the president is very eager to hear more, I think we should come more in questions.
Well, there was a protocol laid in place that we may come in here to talk to officials. We are going to the national states and only Minister Soka was interview this afternoon. And part of that, we based in the diaspora, we want to give people a fair share to know exactly what is happening here, and that's why we try to reach out here. But if you see the young folks and people that I run, I listen to the chairman. I did not hear what the 2019 will bring, but all we were talking about was and so I'm wondering what our plan was committed by the former president, but the chairman did not speak to that. Is that problem?
No, but he told you clearly that mess was created for 20 years. I think the report that...
is that mess considered as a country?
It is a crime in the sense that Liberia National Government was defeated. Because if you look at Nuka, for example, when Manan Serin said, I take responsibility for Nuka Bank War. So it is a crime. So if there was a...
If a crime is committed, we have the Attorney General of the Republic of Nigeria. We were there today and we hope to get all that. Why now the ruling party cannot prosecute that?
I want to believe that the government is still believing all those days that we're going to face before taking my case. Because, mind you now, dragging somebody to court, it doesn't mean that the person is guilty. Because you have to compile all these documents, all those necessary documents to prove your case. While it's true in the public settlement says SRZ or equally so as a responsible government, you can kept somebody from the street and say you are for what. So this government believes in a very transparent process and they will compile all these documents.
So fair to mention it's an allegation.
Of course it is a serious allegation. But also this allegation of being alluded to by our first president. He said she takes responsibility of local bank law. So I agree with the allegation, but she takes responsibility.
But without no conscience, this woman won for 5 million Ukrainians award. And you take responsibility and nothing was put. It is taxpayer money. And you take responsibility, you will not pay back. That cannot happen in the Western world.
Yeah, I expect you to take the microphone from the city because you have the reporting that you take responsibility. After we see that 5 million, she needed to send back to the country, a little amount that, those money that we use to build schools in hospital. So I expect you to take the microphone from the city. to do us justice as we are going people, those money that were taken back up, based on our administration, that those money could be better, sent back to our country to those children hospital, send our brothers and sisters back to school.
What's this anticipation for the fiscal year 2019 reference to the rolling back of the country? What do you hope to see in the fiscal year?
Oh, like I think you are being here during the president annual address of the president card. I think he did well. The president scored 90. So I expect perhaps hopefully next year, because he has already started the foundation in terms of feeder roads, road construction, in terms of the military hospital. And notice today, I'm just proud to say to you that all this regime is the first in the history of our country that public university is free. And that's why, in all the president's achievement, I think that one is a very serious achievement, because if you build the mind of the citizens, build the capacity of young people, people to contribute to the economy positively. And besides that, in the 80s, because like we won the Civil War, young people don't really know them educationally, they want to play on them. But our president, this president is serious to lay out capacity and people to reason and people do analysis that, we know what it's time to go. And that's why you saw today the press conference trying to tell us.
Don't go away. Let me get a word from this guy. I hope to say with the chairman, there are a lot of secret issues, and we hope that. Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, fine, very fine.
Okay. What's your name?
I'm Samuel F. McGill. I chair the Policy Response Committee of the party. Policy Response Committee.
Policy Response
It's
Committee.
very serious and robust committee.
Can you tell a little bit for those who don't know what this is all about?
The Policy Response Committee is responsible to propagate the proper agenda for development and for prosperity and development. It's the National Development Plan, the national vision of President Weah on how he must develop this country. So this is the policy we are responsible to propagate, also defend and promote the image of the presidency. So this is my responsibility.
I assume both of you guys are decision makers. I will post that if I have the opportunity to meet with the chairman and other type. My concern, during the president's recent address, the amount of $402 million was mentioned in the president's address. Let me get that right. Is that true? Of the country reserve. Is that true?
Reiterate your statement.
During the president's annual address recently, the reserve of the country's budget of $402 million, that figure was mentioned in the president's address. Is that true?
No. In the reserve, no. He did not speak of that figure concerning the reserve. That was what was accumulated as regarding revenue collection in a revenue envelope. That was what we were speaking specifically to, not the reserve.
Okay, and we hope to get that, because my concern, if that is the case, if that's not it, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But it's like sending your men and women who are torchbearer on the front line, telling them this is the number of men that we have. That's a national security issue. Why was that even mentioned? Was the president on it or not?
No, but listen, the president, according to our constitution, should report to the national legislature also regarding the economy, the expenditure and component and the revenue component of the economy, how the economy is performing. So in the president's annual message, he made mention of that as regarding the economy, the revenue aspect and the expenditure aspect.
Both of you, anybody can answer it. I listened to the chairman, he was calling on the partnership of the media institution. Does that mean the media is in bio here in terms of putting one government agenda? Is that how you feel?
Not really. The chairman spoke, he make it clear. There are some elements, in the media. Don't want to really see
But there were a lot of names calling by the chairman. How dangerous is that?
He didn't address the media in general to say, the media is anti to the government. No, the media is not anti to the government. But there are other people who want to use the media to undermine the government. No, I don't want to call name here. But if we give it a time, we'll call name. But right now, I want to keep it a secret.
The responsible wants to.
Yeah. Additionally, what the chairman was stating, the media and the government are development partners. Both the media and the government should work interchangeably for the growth and development of the country. The media is the fourth estate. They have a significant role to play in the developmental agenda of the country. This is what President we have said. He has introduced a bill in the House called the Abdullah Kamara bill that will take decriminalize labor. You know, many people went to right this year went to jail when he allegedly accused Christo of embezzling millions of dollars during the Army Warman saga. And he went to jail. Our one of the president had demonstrated that right this year shouldn't go to jail. So the president wants to create a condition where free speech will be the order of the day. How can this man be seen as enemy of the media when he's proffering a bill to the national legislature to decriminalize free speech and labor? So I think the president is well on course, but there are elements within the media landscape who are bent to see that the president does not succeed, and these are the people he's trying to pinpoint. But notwithstanding, being that he's the president of the nation, and due to his flexibility, he wants to work with the media to ensure that the country move forward and Liberia do not experience our years of crisis and plunge the country back into the dark days.
Let me ask both of you this question. The diaspora in Liberia, in the U.S. is another part of the world. They are being, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. What we do not understand about this or about what is happening now that you want to use it out. And don't get me wrong, the diaspora has contributed significantly when it comes to the GDP of this country in terms of the remittances.
I'm quite aware.
But there seems to be a disconnect. People see the diaspora community as not Liberian. Is that how you believe it?
No. Who have said that? In fact said, for the matter of fact, the president, during his first annual message, stated that we are not in the days of old, where this country, people of certain race could not be citizens of this country. The president is pushing for...
Talking about citizens, not to interrupt.
Yeah.
Do you support as a policy response, a member of the ruling party, do you support dual citizenship?
I support dual citizenship, but with restriction that you cannot hold certain office. That's my personal view. Yeah.
So when you say certain office, which office?
You cannot be president here, you cannot be minister, or you cannot hold certain position in government. We have a situation here with specificity and in Kukra, where people did something here and they ran away under the canopy of being citizens of another country. So, being that some people took citizenship to seek greener pasture, to seek opportunities during the crisis, we cannot deny our people. So the president has been covering and pushing the idea that we should have dual citizenship. You want to repeal that law to ensure that people of all race can become citizens of our country and even have dual citizenship.
In addition to that, I didn't know what you just said. Few weeks ago, you called and the president had a meeting with our brothers and sisters from the diaspora. So it clearly tells you that the president has serious interest in go out there. And besides that, our brothers and sisters on Asa have been doing well for us. So we don't see them as enemies. But if what is like directly said, I support dual citizenship, but also with restriction. You cannot have a citizen, particular president for a citizen for two countries, he's sitting as a prime minister. No, the undermine the process. Seriously undermine the process. So what is true? We support them, we believe in them, but equally so there should be a restriction because of
undermine the process. So it means we are talking about specific job. If dual citizenship, I'm not talking about
specific job.
That happens. Why should be that job? Why if I'm a citizen of America and I'm a born native of Liberia, why can't I be minister? How do you want me to serve?
There is a fear by the ordinary.
Yeah, corruption be taking place in Liberia.
No, this is why we want to put stringent measure to ensure the issue of corruption is addressed. So people cannot be having the fear that you have a dual citizenship.
But what I'm saying, gentlemen, you and I,
Yeah.
When there is a scandal, the equipment modifies it, the investment, right?
Yeah.
I don't have time. He doesn't have time to go into election already.
Yeah.
But when I take it, they say the man's street. And the common thinking there that somebody's street is a big way. So why we should only dwell on that one? People who are still here in the past regime and on the yet to encounter for Liberian taxpayer. And those people are not there.
If you're speaking of the past regime, I was one of the major critics of the past regime. I've been in advocacy for several years and was even branded as enemy of the state. I was one of the proponents of the April 12 protest. Yeah, put it that people fear. I lost my house in that process by operatives, security operatives. Let me say here, President Weah came to power by the will of the people who overwhelmingly voted him. The government firstly has to take root, settle down, ensure that the governance process is in full swing, ensure that our people are given some economic emancipation, ensuring that the healthcare delivery system is functioning, the educational sector is booming. When all these things are done, it will go midway into the issue of addressing those who siphon, pillage, and put their hands in the cookies jar to give the camp. Those reports are on the docket. The NSCC have those reports, the GSC has to report. Those people are now, they will not go sky-free, I can tell you for free, but there's time for everything. We are settling down, we got at the same time, because you have not settled down and you start going after people. The people have resources. I think if President we are going midway into his first term, the president and the government parastatals can look at this issue to ensure that people get their account for what they were interested to.
Finally, let me give you the opportunity for your last one. What I should understand, I did not understand.
So, I just want to inform you that you are being the media, I've been following you during your days at the page. I've been reporting for Star Radio. Whether am I, your reporter, I just want to question you to be very objective and see this government as a founder. We are not against the press. This government is sincere to the people. And besides that, the president is very serious in terms of fighting corruption. To clearly demonstrate to you, don't give it a national housing authority. You saw what happened. We are not saying our brothers and sisters are being guilty, but the particular act of being taken, the clearly tell that this president is very serious in terms of corruption. And that's why mass majority of African people, 61.5% voted for him, because we understand where he came from. He understands the living condition of ordinary people. So again, I hope you'll be around and your report should not be biased. Be clear. We are not telling you to praise us or what goes wrong. You call us to vote professionally. And we will understand, and this president can really listen. Thank you for the opportunity.
But to conclude that. Let me just get it right. I know who you're talking about. We are two different. I just want to make your name, sir. And so. But we host one of the largest platforms in the U.S. with offices here. And that's why we try to go around the top. We don't want to just pick up anything from YouTube or Facebook as a gossip site. Just a Wikipedia. Anybody can write anything there. That's why we want to talk to government officials or those that are in charge of authority. But I'm a little bit disappointed in saying that I've talked to a lot of government officials. Even the only minister, Dr. Wilson, was able to grant or now, if I leave for you to go there, if I report that I will, you say bias, absolutely not. Because there was an appointment. And they asked for the report or so as a ruling party, we know you are in the government state. And so we should not be selective which institution is because the reality of them agree with our policy. But that will also help those out there who don't understand. So we want to give the opportunity to everybody to hear that. We hope, like Chairman said, I will come back here. I was here yesterday. I will come back again tomorrow. Hopefully we'll hear about the
I think their action was not deliberate, I understand, their action, are not deliberate, but I believe that perhaps they are not serious. They are not serious question with me.
the issue of this for 16 whatever billion, is that true? Any money missing as far as you're concerned?
But rationally, our total economy, the Liberian notes, is 17.5 billion. If you take out 16.5 billion, there will not be even money in the main pocket. Suddenly the whole economy has collapsed. So economically speaking, no rational man. But you know, because the people so much hate president we are. But let me tell you one thing that no president will ever do. To surround up part of your sovereignty, to call people from the international community to independently investigate or probe into the matter.
Then what was the point of calling those people?
No. There were doubts. There were accusations, the counter accusations. So to allay those doubts, the president found it prudent and expedient for the benefit of the doubt to call many people. And you said, call experts. The report in the president's annual message stated by the end of February, the report will be out. And he has stated,
give me a little gist about that report. I guess
he has stated with emphatic tone. He has stated with emphatic tone that anyone caught culpable will bear the full weight of the law. I can tell you for free.
Let's turn the camera off and see who's going to be calling the police.
Let the report come, then you will get to know what the president did.
And this is what you see. This is what you saw.
But to conclude with you, to conclude with you, from your statement that you have just mentioned that the investigation took place at the National Housing Authority, and now from reliable sources, from concrete sources, that those particular people that have been alleged by the money they went into prison, they have been employed by the president. Do you have knowledge of that? And they are now working there at the National Housing Authority.
I think the case is in the court. They were suspended for time indefinite, and they're going through the legal process. They are not being reinstated. If that happens, I think you hear in the media. But besides that, to just conclude, relative to the 16 billion, and this is why the president is supposed to say there are certain individuals that are using the media to undermine the government. You are in the media. Somebody spoke or somebody reported from the media that 16 billion gone missing. I hope when you leave from here, you'll be able to speak to Mr. Wissel.
I want to say with the Minister of Justice, I think he is the overall, and I'm hoping that they were going to call. All right, thank you so much. Let me see the word. We are Prince Media.
First, I'd like to commend you for taking on this exercise to part of relevant initiatives like some key national issues. One thing I'd like to flag here, which is very much astonishing, and I'd like for the world to be aware of, is that the kind of Liberia we do have now, we have had in the past, to have had, very seriously, to have had a president, the Excellency George Mani, we extended to the presidency of our election, and starting with a robust format, so that addresses a great portion of the disparity in our national income bracket, and also has a great trickle-down effect on the fight of corruption. That, to speak to directly, has to do with cutting down all members of the executive branch, the top authority, ensuring that, as previously they were making 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, he said, on my regime, on my white authority, it will not happen. No one will make more than 7,000 back. 7,000, sorry, 7,000. That was remarkable. That was a real fight, a real move to substantiate an exclusive fight against corruption. When you say corruption, the word corruption is mentioned of. No huge chunk of talent. It must begin from there. Before we take about the business of taking wherever it means. So you have exhibited a high zeal to fight and defeat corruption. I must applaud you for that. But I'd like to say to all Nigerians, thank you for having such president, for the kind of step you have taken. And the next thing you have done to raise a singer that he will not tolerate any form in manner of corruption, the housing authority issue. When they came up, his step he took were also exceptional. I also like to applaud him for that. More than just that, let me say this thing. More than just that, talking about the housing, are those partisans or institutions?
Well, these are Liberians. These are Liberians.
What's the party affiliation?
Me or they? They're part of the I can't really better, I cannot better speak to that. Speak to the parties to the rival party. As far as I'm concerned, they are Liberians. Lord, they have a capacity such that, it keeps us. So, I want to raise another issue that has to do with education. Education is very key in our nation. Liberia, education was very huge. The bedrock of every nation is education. So if you educate the people, educate and develop the nation. You see, we have taken another robust step by not just paying white or white fees for all struggling Liberian children. We went a step forward and exclusively ensuring that all public universities are 100% free of tuition. Not only that, before then, our doctors, our medical doctors that care for the welfare of our citizens, they were making something like 700, 800, maybe highest 1,000 United States dollars. But under the regime, they are making up to 2,000 US dollar plus. You see, that is an act of demonstrating high level of commitment and several leadership services to your people. Because you empower the doctors, they are meant to straight in their zeal, to general adequate healthcare services to the people. Because you see, under the constitutional provision that says we have the right to live, but that is the key issue, and of course, healthcare should be paramount in our nation. So he did that. More than just that, he sent a lot of medical doctors abroad to acquire classical education in terms of different and various kinds of disciplines to serve his people. Quite recently, one of the ministers broke down in illness. Before then, he would be thrown out of the country. On the judge, he said, no, you're not going to help him, man. You can write the GFK. And he can write the GFK when he acquires his health, recovery. At first, we did not have a scanning machine. Something like that. Yes, scanning machine, yeah. I thought we did not have it. And I can speak to you, GFK have one.
Yeah, we should be, I had a privilege to meet Dr. Brown yesterday, that we should be taking it forward. Part of that is to give a clear call to what is happening.
Exactly. Sure.
Where before let me just get this. Alright, Ali asked you accent from the CDC Islamic Affairs, one of the and auxiliary network work under the CDC Islamic Affairs. And first of all, I would like to extend thanks and appreciation to you for taking this time to come and get some brain issues in the minds of the concerned Liberian and also to inform other Liberian diaspora. And I don't have brain issue, but I'd just like to do some presentation as it relates to the current gestures of the president when it comes to religious tolerance. And we from the Muslim background, we are giving all sorts of opportunity to really serve the political party as one of the people that indeed is trying to sterilize the affairs of the Muslim. And I appreciate his effort this going Ramadan. He offered a cash ticket for Muslims to go for the privilege, and there was a distribution of food in the month of Ramadan. I highly appreciate such an effort. And also telling the Liberian that in the diaspora as a Muslim, and they had their brothers under this regime trying to carry on youth development, they come to building Islamic schools and Islamic university or sending Muslims on scholarship abroad. We welcome them, and our arms remain open so that they can receive a good gesture from them. Do you believe in the purple agenda of the president is currently?
Yeah, I 100% believe.
There are some saying pro-reach. What are we missing?
Yeah, the agenda goes like this. It's a pro-poor agenda that was made for the rich and for the middle. It is
not pro-race, but it's a pro agenda.
I just want to get you know. Okay, welcome. What do you want to say? Tell your talk.
Thank you very much. Samuel T. Carter, from the Coalition for Democratic Children, member of the Lpr-Tv, I'm the chairman for mobilization. And my own disappointment, let me just say, let me get the government, especially the president, for the level of development. Why we need it from the president as a member of Lpr-Tv, why we need it from the government, which we decided to in the coalition, is happening. And we love that. We love the president for the level of development. But our disappointment is with Moserado County. I'm from Moserado County. I'm the chairman, president, the acting chairman for Moserado County. From my party, Lpr-Tv. The problem I got is since the election, Lpr-Tv are not being recognized in Moserado County. There's no single person. There's
not being recognized. Who should be recognized?
Yeah, no. When I say recognition, when I say recognize, meaning that Lpr-Tv are not being called for a meeting. When they say a meeting, the coalition called a meeting, that from today's meeting, I just took it upon myself, I came here because I saw people come. I was passing, I saw people. Lpr-Tv cannot call for a meeting. They can't call Lpr-Tv parison. I'm a chairman for Lpr-Tv. They can't call us. And we are, up to now, the coordinators, a single coordinator have not been benefited from this coalition. Since the coalition are being elected, this party, and
that's a serious concern.
Yeah, of course. Since this party are being elected, Coalition for Democratic Change, we are aware that three political parties that part coalition, and Lpr-Tv is one of the parties. One single coordinator are not being employed. Down to county chairs. One single county chairs in Moserado County are not being employed. So I want to know why. I want the chairman, the national chairman, Chairman Moru, if I could have the time to speak with him today in the meeting, I would say that, but I was denied. Because I raised the issue, I was denied. And I want to know, I want Chairman Moru to address that issue. Why they are denying Lpr-Tv? There is no single person from the county leadership, neither the coordinator of this county. We got 17 electoral coordinators. And these are people that have been working tirelessly for this government to come to power. Why we are being marginalized, I want to know that. I want to know that. That's my really, really concern. I want to know that. I want the president to come in and I want the party chairman, Chairman Mulu, to come in and address that immediately.
That's a serious concern. We hopefully the chairman will bring us the interview. This is not the first time we're hearing it. We have some other partisans in the US and other countries. But from the little piece that I'm hearing from you, that's a troubling news come the next time. The survival of the coalition's leaders seem as the tip of my finger.
Yeah, of course, we got a very huge Lpr-Tv as a party that grew over the years, fastly grew over the years. That people know Lpr-Tv got a very huge, very large establishment in Moserado County. When it comes to Moserado County, Lpr-Tv got a very huge establishment. And we are being marginalized. As I speak as a vice chair for mobilization and recruitment, I'm being troubled that if I have to leave my house because every day and night people come in on my house. I mean, you get us in the party and we work over the years.
Are you benefiting?
No, absolutely not. I'm not working. I'm telling you now, I left my house while I was waiting. I left the place and I'm squatting down. I'm telling you that I'm squatting down because when I was working, the people dismissed me because I said Moserado County Lpr-Tv, Moserado County, including the chairs. I'm the vice chair for mobilization and recruitment. And we got the 70 coordinators, none are really getting a job. Not a matter of job, but appreciation. Absolutely nothing has to do with it. So we want to
listen. Before coalitions, and I had a privilege to talk to some of the opposition, and they didn't answer that question. Perhaps you are here. Before coalition is formed, you should sit around the table and these things sort out. Did you guys go through that process, or everybody just decided to join on the winning side, and that's how the party runs?
Thank you very much. That's an excellent question. And absolutely nothing. Nothing We don't know.
So you blame fair to mention you blame your party leadership because they did not push the agenda and the goals of your party and their parties. Because if I support a party, political interest, that's the key. So your party leadership, they have the right.
We say I'm here because I've been engaging my party leaders, including my coordinators, I've been engaging my party leaders. We always tell us to wait. And we are going to year plus now. We are continuing waiting and we are tired of waiting. And we decided to take this issue at the national level because we're not be waiting all the time, waiting, and there's no solution.
Now tell me, and let's turn the camera off. If you take it to the national level and no solutions,
look, we'll continue to take it as the best way that they can handle it. We are peaceful.
It's not handled.
But we are peaceful. I believe there will be an issue. If the president is a man that believes in democracy, so we believe if the president get the law, he will cap it. So we want for the president to
do you honestly believe that the president is going to
No, absolutely nothing.
He does the appointment.
Nothing.
He does the appointment of government official. So if your party leader was appointed for example on a corporate corporation, he or she should be able to bring in other parties and that happen. So how can you say
let me tell you openly without fear. I want to tell you our party chairman Mose Kwali does not have interest in the party. He don't have interest in bringing people from local country, employing them at labor ministry, that where we supposed to benefit. Every time we go to Mose Kwali says he doesn't have an interest in politics. In fact, he's not contesting for chairmanship in the next election, so he doesn't care. So we are not no longer taking on Mose Kwali. We want to take it up to the higher level. No, everybody, no. We are not. We respect our political leader, Chairman, in honor of Ellis Jenica Tyler. We respect him. He always comes to our answer when we call him. But our main problem is Mose Kwali. Mose Kwali, Labour Minister, is our problem. Labour Minister, and from today, as I speak, three weeks from now, if there is no solution, we'll barricade the Labour Ministry. As I speak from the voice of the coordinator and some of the candidates, we'll barricade the Labour Ministry that Mose Kwali will not enter Labour Ministry until he address our issue, because he's supposed to address our issue.
Calling for his resignation?
No, we are calling on his intervention. Here he look at our interest.
That's a government ministry. So
we don't care, because that's where he works. If he knew that government ministry, he was going to take some of us, or he was not going to take people from local county, other counties. Relative, Mose Kwali got more than 20 relatives is working. I got record on him. I can prove it. I can prove it that the people that Mose Kwali employee for his house, I can prove it. I can. I can do that. I got a record. Yeah, I got a record. I can do that. I can do that. Yes, I get a contact. No, for now. You can do that. You can call him, but I'm telling you that Mose Kwali is not patriotic. He's not working with us as a coordinator and chairman for Mose County. In fact, Mose County is the largest county in Liberia. Mose County should be one of the counties that's supposed to prioritize. Today, let me speak to you today, this meeting. Absolutely, one person from Lpr-Tv was not recognized with the exception of I that speaking, because there was no call posted to any of them. Lpr-Tv is absolutely out of every activity of this coalition. Mose County.
Any other party member here from part of the coalition share his view? Any of you guys here share his view from the coalition? Are you a member of his party or the CDC?
Not the Lpr-Tv.
Do you share his view?
I just can't say I will not speak to anything for that.
Why you want to speak to us?
And I just want for everybody to know this. Our party is included. I just speak to you now, going up there for meeting. At the district channel for teaching for Thomas. For me, like I say, I don't know what he said. So I will not speak to him before I get talk to him. But what happened here is that we don't have a job, but let us remain party discipline. This is what we fought for. This is what we laid our chest to the bullet intellectually. So I think in my own mind, as a party disciplinarian, let us come with one understanding. But what translate, I hear you say barricading the ministry. I think that's not a reference trajectory to go. What we should do as partisans is that most of us live in District 12, 1602. Let us take our professor to him. We have our party record, we have the Lpr-Tv party record. I think we can go there to address our professor there. We have the people and ethics committee. We can channel our people and ethics through the people and ethics committee. But going to barricade the ministry, it obstruct the men working, what they call, they obstruct the people from going to work. They also sabotage the government work. So I think he's my official. He's from the country. I respect him a lot. I'm from the district. So I think we should recon our decision. Let us support the coalition, because if we start to fight each other from within, opposition are coming to fight us and we get no voice to withstand them. Because if the horse that is divided cannot stand, therefore we all will fall. So I'm calling on my senior brother to see reason. Let us go back into our own political catacomb to see how best we can be able to.
You guys for the horse or the war?
That's the political jargon. You as a media practitioner, I believe that you should be honest, you should be in the know of that war. So I'm not here to provide dictionary to it. Now there's the issue. I think we should all come all together to bring up one idea in pushing the President Popo agenda. That's what I think for now.
Serve as the chairperson for the social welfare worker of the Republic of Liberia and the Civil Service Union of the Republic of Liberia. So I'm speaking from a broader perspective, not just from the party's sentiment that is around. I know that we all many jobs, there are a lot of holding and moving around, people want to see themselves employed gainfully, but we have a huge responsibility that is being handled right now by our central government, most especially His Excellency. As the chairman has said, many of the nexus that were created during the 12 years, they are gradually working on it. So from every cycle of the correlation, we need to understand that and continue to peacefully engage the inner caucus so that we will be able to move over one agenda that will move this country forward. So far, these are the basic things that we provide in the capacity of a social worker. I think there are many things that we should be
when
looking
it comes to being a social worker, what clips to provide a lot of social issues, children, parents, custody, those issues you're talking about?
Yes, and we have huge problems in that direction, and I have been closely looking at the way that we can be able to mitigate some of these problems.
Do you think the government, that's what we have in Canada Affairs Commission, do you think the national government is the best person to do that while you are concerned?
Yeah, they are doing one or two in that direction. We just need to.
Where are they falling?
We just need to.
Where are they falling?
At least I think we need to pay a little attention to the issue of commercial sex workers. Many a time they are chased in the streets. Many a time they don't have access to health care, as well as legal protection services. When they are rather abused in the street, they cannot seek legal services through the means of the police because of the kind of law that we have that have criminalized the situation. And we know that globally they are protected at the UN level, and also I think from the gender ministry side, they should be looking at things in those directions.
Are you making a recommendation to gender ministry to our national government to see whether they should do laws or amendments to some of those laws?
Yes, sir. That's the general recommendation. I think laws are made for the benefit and protection of those who seek. protect. And if it cannot meet up with those objectives, the amendment clause that was put in the law need to be legalized.
Oh, yes, about your country.
The only thing I know right now is the development
Do you think the president is doing enough? So let's assume the president is listening. You should force him to say that. You as a mother, you as a woman, what would you want to say to the president? Why do you think the president should focus on? There are some young folks here, I know some of them are expectation were high, okay, thinking that maybe if it wins it, everybody will be. But it's not easy. It is not how it is that people think it to be. Now that's a word on the
Yeah, I believe that everyone cannot be involved. Why?
So it would make sense to have vocational or technical institutions to help to build human capacity so that if I'm a carpenter, I have a plumber, I sit down to my house, the job comes to me. Once that facility is there for me to pay, right? So that's something the president should invest in. And that's exactly what Minister Zuka was
for them, carry them, inject them, so that they just
You know what I'm talking
make money, use money so that they
Thank you so much. What's your name?
I want to tell them that every day they everything is time. And we are going by time. And this time is going ahead and we should decide to take it as a so I want to tell them as a take it as a strategy, not
constructed so that means you're not barricade.
No. And when I say barricade, I am not doing it in a way where we'll barricade. We're only doing it so that the chairman can do the attention of the chairman.
When the child is crying, the mother sitting there paying deaf ear, you got to do something for the child to put it in the
Of course. We are crying. It's not easy. The chairman can do it down the road. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking a second to my man. Like, what's going on? Which are the but I want to come up first with many verses. Urging all of them to be patient. But the problem is that we don't expect for 4 million plus population to be deployed with government service in 1 year time. So I think it will be prudent. Yeah, the appreciation can be patient and go for even more than 1 year. Provided it, government is taking on other projects because deployment is not the only priority for government. I think government needs to play a role, go to the other sector, do other things, and when those things are happening, then we'll see more jobs be created. For some of us being finance for the past 2 years, we are not employed. But we're getting it because there is a new government, and we are very sure and very optimistic that the president will not fail us. We will work and we'll work until our great grandchildren are years. This is a government that provides a platform that you're enjoying today. So the people in the diaspora, as you said from the previous interview, the people in the diaspora, they are not somehow feeling part of the government. I want to urge them to remain patient.
they are part of the government, but they made us to be today. Not because they are not employed, that they are left out. They will not be like, no, I don't think if that those are just propaganda from the opposition. They want to use that tactic to weaken our strength for the broad. Let the us be committed. The mission, as you can see, the proposals are not working. But we are hopeful to work. That is why, yeah, change for the party, change for hope. In as much as we have moved the past government, our government is in power, the ball is in our hand. Just as we necessarily should.
All right, let me wrap it up here, my man. Tell me something that I'm not going to tell me.
Yeah. You want to talk some?
Second, as a matter of fact, practicing journalists, one of the biggest media platforms I've listened before, right to Smart FM, Top FM. And for me, it's to just run up on video. I spend the scope of operations, more especially management, government. For me, what I believe in, so I believe in, we have to be adjustment period. Every institution, every leader that comes to power, in every institution, we must have what we call an adjustment period. It is what happens, even if you go in a person parliament, models of our money, scope of operation. So our ardent hope as a people of this country is to be patient, because the only thing if we are to critique government, if we are not constructive, if we discuss the lapses that have fallen, we should also take into consideration the prospect, the progress that is so far. We cannot expect a government that's supposed to spend 6 years, just spend 1 year to do all, to cover all sectors of growth. This is why in every institution, the planning stage, after the planning stage, then we carry on the implementation stage. But this government is one of the government that...
So what do you think will be a reasonable adjustment time?
For me, I take 2 years. I take 2 years.
What happens after 2 years in your thinking if that adjustment is not achieved?
If that adjustment is not achieved, then we can come up with what we call as to what a criticism or so. The adjustment. Each and every one of, for me, first day I'm not even drinking water. But we cannot take that. It's not about fasting. It's not about fasting. Then you understand, dwell on just 1 year to say, everything is just, that's the end of the war. And I believe one of the professors in the bride don't pray for no fellow, but pray for no one. Live and you understand to see. Let's say 5 years. For me, I know that because if I want to leave from here to Sweden or River G tomorrow, I should make a small path. You understand? It is what the government is working on. So it is our ardent hope that all will transform this government, be on the computer hub on a daily basis, so that those plans that you have for the people are achieved. Anybody can, the government cannot incorporate all the citizens, the 4 million of the government cannot incorporate. The only thing you can do is provide what we call the enabling environment. If you are opportune to work, okay, if you are opportune to work, that's it. But the enabling environment that have to do with the security, the delivery system, the education, one of those that are even like to inclusively compete is the textual education that we try to bring in on the table to the Liberian people, because there's a scenario that says the technical education is their right to national development. Every technician, our engineers and other people that you see today, they are people who come from a background of pass so if you have a masoner, if you have an electrician, if you have a carpenter and other people, at the end of the day, you have a vibrant society and the economy. Thank you very much.
All right, well, folks, that does it here this evening. This here is the headquarters of the ruling party. As a matter of fact, this is the CDC, where the chairman Mulva spoke to participants and addressed a lot of issues. We hope to be back here tomorrow, where we're going to have an exclusive with Chairman Mulva on wide range of issues. And Alphonso is here, so at the same time, we have been invited at the ANC headquarters, where we'll be speaking and be hearing from the opposition side as well. Until then, I will thank all of our viewers and my man and gratitude of the Public Radio right here at the headquarters of the CDC compound. This is where the victory that led to the president here to be in the overall office. Until then, we hope to be back here tomorrow. Now, who is the head of the ruling party? That's Chairman will be on the camera. Thank you so much, and we hope to be back here. Good morning, I'm Alphonso of the Liberia Public Radio in the nation's capital of Monrovia. Precisely, we are in the office of Senator Marshall Dennis of the Republic of Liberia from Gedeh County on Capitol Hill, which happens to be one of the branches of government here. We were welcomed here by office staff to get a word from the Honorable Senator of Gedeh County, Republic of Liberia. Honorable Dennis, welcome to our microphone.
Oh, thank you, most welcome. So it's a pleasure having you.
Okay. Well, as usual, it's important we are here despite of family, other engagement. It is also good to give the diaspora community and the rest of the Liberians a sense of the work of the office on review 2018. Now we are in 2019. As far as you are concerned, how was your work 2018? Can you tell us?
Well, before I just proceed with your mission here, let me first of all, in this public manner, extend my words of condolence for the loss of your settlement place some few weeks ago. And I also understand you had to go home to escort the family members that came to join me here in making the occasion successful. And you had just returned, so we can God and grace for your safe arrival. And I hope that your stay here is not going to be overwhelmed with too much sorrow, or these things when they happen, that's it. There's nothing you can do, it's like spilled milk that you cannot recollect. And I hope that it's all going to be proud of you. Now, having said that, we'll come to definitely your question. Our activities here throughout the year 2018 have been very, very good. Our three cardinal responsibilities that we have play key oversight of the representation. We've always been sure we stay within those frames. But again, we cannot forget the fact that we are doing whatever our people, our highly impoverished masses. And in addition to those three cardinal responsibilities assigned to us by the Constitution of Nigeria, we have extra responsibilities to be as humanitarian as possible. Look after the needs of people that are not in a position to find for themselves.
How overwhelming, Senator, I have seen this, people pulling in even during your, you came to sympathize with us, and let me just say this public manner with the Soul family, both here and in the diaspora, are overwhelmed of the enormous support that you have given, and up to the time of the president, you have not even been able to move around, and through your humanitarian gesture, our family were able to go back and all of that. How overwhelming is this situation?
Well, also this is something that we are used to, actually. I mean, to say the least. We've been in public service for some time now, and we know that conditions have not actually changed for our people enormously. But a lot of them are still jobless, income generation is a problem for them. And so when you have one person in the family that is employed or that has a source of income, everyone tend to go in on that one person as in the breadwinning souls. So be it as it is, we are constrained to say we are used to it.
Would there be a point in time that you're going to get tired? I mean, nothing lasts forever.
I don't know what I'm going to get tired, but what I really do think is to continue to encourage our people. There are other means of identifying sources of revenue generation. People can be farm, people can work for smaller businesses, and anything you want to put your hand into that will earn you, income so that you can survive on a daily basis. At least you can do that with all sincerity. And these are things we continue to tell our people. Because hand out cannot take you anywhere. You come today, I do what I can do. Tomorrow you are in a desperate need, or you are ashamed to come back, or you were just here yesterday. And sometimes the one that is happening to me is even people that don't want to happen yesterday, but to me. All of these things we need to make sure that we do what we can, try to put in some strength. Government cannot do all, government just cannot do power. It has become the economy. We have to make sure that we put things back in the holes. That's going to take some time. And so we should understand that situation.
Yeah, let me ask you, since I have the privilege to meet you, we have learned that Senator Marsha Denny is no longer within the Gedeh Legislative Caucus. This is the news. I'm not sure how true is this news that you have resigned. What about the situation? What's the actual view? Are you still a member of the caucus or what?
Well, Alphonso, to be very frank with you, a few weeks ago, we withdrew our membership from the caucus of the Executive Caucus of the Executive. Because for us, it doesn't mean to be a part of an organization that you cannot make significant contribution, change the status of the people whom we serve. I've been here since 2015 up to this time, and I've been like a lone soldier. Okay.
When you say a lone soldier, what that means?
Lone soldier meaning whatever idea we found, whatever step I want to take, I want to take out the interest of our people will always be looked down. Well, this is a majoritarian establishment, and so out of 5, one person says it goes on, and whatever the result, whatever the consequences is, it comes from everyone of us. It's a decision of the caucus.
Now, Mr. Senator, you were elected by the people overwhelmingly during the last elections, which brought you into this position. Taking this decision, have you interpreted, have you explained yourself to the people of Gedeh the reasons of these decisions, or do you hope to do that?
Well, of course, I haven't really gone back to the people to let them know. But one thing I can tell you clearly is that they did not elect me to the Executive Caucus of Gedeh. This is really an establishment for us to understand, so that we can do something. But whether a member of the caucus or not, I can still do what I'm supposed to do. And that's what I've been doing all along.
So it seems to me by till you withdraw is not something Senator Marsha and they intend on doing, but probably it's out of frustrations or lack of cooperations or coming to a consensus on some key issue. Is that the case?
I'm not going to miss words when it comes to this. So actually, frustration is to even say the least, because we have been here from 2015 to 2019, as I said. I don't think we are doing something.
What was the reactions of the colleagues when you sent that? Was that a letter of resignation you sent, or was that a verbal communication?
Well, the organization is like a staff official, so nothing official can be done about it. We have a chat room where we all meet, and so I said my opinion to them in the chat room.
Did anybody got back with you to say, oh, Senator, what's going on? We need to maybe sit and go over to our talking point. Anybody did that?
Senator Gaye did. We had 2 senators, and it was a shock for him. First he responded, and then he called me on the phone to see if we can talk, and sit and talk. We've casually met. We've talked. He has understood the right performance that come. Though it's not a good thing for him to see that one of the members is shying away from that organization. What I think is that we need to understand that with or without the legislative caucus of the country, nationalists can make his contribution in a way he feels possible, and without any string attached.
Now, so Senator, let's come to some of your happening in the 2018. What were some of your major achievements during the 2018 year? What do you hope to achieve in the 2019?
Well, in 2018, thereabouts, far from the onset of 2018, even now, we have few periods that we have made mention of during our campaign. Some of the periods that have to do with capacity of young people. We've stayed glued to that in 2015 for this time. And we granted like five graduates the other time of master's degree. Schools of them with undergraduate degrees, high school students and all like that. Our support base has expanded to somewhere around 158 graduate students here in the country. Community College, Tottenham University, all the other universities, private colleges here in River and there. We've successfully been engaged with that, and over time we've scaled down on that, and we want to continue with that until by the time our 10 years over, we can look up to some number of students that are now educated through our own intervention. And I tell you, this is possible intervention.
Yeah, and that's what I was coming to, because we have been hearing the diaspora that there are tons of students that you are currently sponsoring.
This is something again that we are used to. Everywhere I worked, I've done it, I've taken responsibility. As low as a registrar for children model natural high school in the 80s, most of the guys graduating from Bucket Junior High School, that was a senior high school we had, and junior high school we had in the district at the time, was graduating from there. We told me more institute. Those are graduating and coming to Frederick, were accommodated by me, and they showed the high schools in the place, and then some of them graduated. I have more than 15 guys living with me in the house. But I've started this process because I feel that a female cannot make a house. It has to be two.
I know.
So that's how I've tried to capacitate it. Then secondly, we started a little project, a school building that we are constructing for the market for the children of users, because we feel that it was growing for them, taking the kids far and wide, and then going to the market to sell. If they start to recollect them in the afternoon, they leave their marketplaces and collect the students and take them home. So we want to centralize an institution that will specifically for their kids. And there's a big classroom building. Sorry, I've told you the other day when you were time, if you had a preparation, so where to go to the market and say we need to do some filming. I know you see we will do that as this season. We started a project, but it's a very little project. This project is supported by the national budget. Government does that so that we get close to our people. But not give us the money to put in our pocket to do anything else. So that building is already standing up in a place, it's roofed. But as a support, goes down, the project is still down. So that's why our minister is finished for them to start using it.
Now, Honorable Senator, before we take leave of you, we've been ready for sessions, and I know there are other agencies of government responsible, including Gedeh, Highway, the road reviews, your committee. As far as you are concerned, as a sitting senator of the county, what is government, national government doing? Is the project on course? Are we going to see something happening this year or next year? As far as you are concerned, what are you hearing?
Yeah, okay. First of all, during my legislative report last year, December 27th to be precise, is where I made a program the president has intimated it, and he said, and the government, let's say, but the president has not intimated that the road project between Ganta and Swedru has started because feasibility studies, soil testing, all of that. But the physical actual is going to start by February this year. And we have included that.
Are you optimistic that you're going to kick off February as well?
Of course. Holding all things constant, we are optimistic because I know the president, is making him have a right here talking. That's the president. He will say he will definitely do it. And the good thing about it, I think, is that the road is also he has to pass through my county to wasteland.
So it's also sort of compelling situation.
Exactly. And besides that, this is something that is long overdue. Right. Other people are downplayed, and that's why he made sure he would have done other things. This is somebody who is a war actor. But to say I want to be the president means he wants to change some things in this country. And those situations is one thing we are all prioritized. So to say it, I'm confident. I'm more than confident that we want to start with this.
Honorable Senator, what is your last word to your kinsmen, both here in Liberia, across the globe, and in the diaspora, or Green Gedeh for that matter? What is your final word to them?
Let me just say to my kinsmen in the diaspora, they can come to us with everything in our power to make sure that we deliver grant in the country. Everyone is important in the country. All cannot be done overnight. It's a matter of time. And we also count on the support as we should. Wherever they see it. Somebody called me yesterday from the States. I was talking about the situation because this is sometimes can be brought to our attention. During the diaspora, you hear some things that we don't know.
Absolutely.
So whatever you hear, if it is the issue of maybe authenticating the report to God, or if it is the issue of making your contribution as to how you can sort it out, is also important to us. So I want to say, hats off to them. The support is given from time to time, so keep it up. Those that are back home, I think the question you asked about those situations is one of the things, because with the barrel situation, when rain set in again, prices of commodities were high, and it becomes a serious problem for me. I just want to let them know, and I told them already, the president is serious about this. The road project will start this year, and you know highway roads now like these funerals, the streets and stuff will be in the rural. So if we can put so many million streets just here, what's about the highway that will encourage investors to come and put in the things that will lift let them and what is with them, whatever there is, I will share in whether good or bad, I'm always with them. So I'm even thinking about my way to play here as a program that's supposed to be on the 17th of February. The album launched by Ambassador Julie. She has invited me to that program too. I decided to go.
Hopefully our correspondent can go there.
Right, we can make sure that the correspondent is going to be a friend and so, but then I understand we want to because of the days because the county authority just got through with the county city information. They need to get adjusted. So whatever the time is, I will be there in the morning for that program, and I can also use that opportunity to meet with them again in some town hall meetings and things, and explain to them some of those apprehensions they have. They decided on the truth for the caucus to just assure them that it is not harmful at all, because this is not even a constitutional responsibility to be a member of the caucus. It's only for, and we must be able to understand and that's the only way we can make the caucus viable. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. So the better you can do what you can do by yourself, you do it. And there's no way that they'll be thinking positively about president, and I will say, I'm not part of it, except negatively. I don't want to do that. But positively, I can contribute. So let us rest assured, we are on course.
Well, folks, that does it this evening. The Senator of Grand Gedeh County, Senator Nash Ty Dennis, taking enough time to take us through some of his development agendas and goals, what he hopes to achieve for the people of Grand Gedeh, Nigeria, Grand Gedeh Republic of Liberia. We want to thank you so much, Honorable Senator, for taking off your busy schedule to chat with us here. Thank you so much. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, there we have it. We will be exiting from the office of the Senator as we have other appointments. We want to give people a fair share. So Sam Cathedral is will be here this evening, Sam, this afternoon's morning time. Sam, let us just proceed as we are about to reach to them. That's a little view of the office of the president, Senator. Just take a little view here. This picture, very beautiful office. You see the Senator A. Marshall Dennis, Senator of Grand Gedeh County. You see the Senator. I'm not sure who this gentleman is.
Chief Justice.
Okay. Okay, there you have it as a Chief Justice here. So that's to show the government, people are coordinating. All right, I think this is enough, Sha. So let's just. My name is Alphonso and source of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. I currently visiting Liberia, but this morning we are in one of the branches of government. We are in the office of the Senior Senator of Gedeh County, the Honorable Alphonso Gaye, has granted us a big thank you to the office staff to help us to facilitate this process. With me here in the office is the Honorable Alphonso Gaye, Senator of Gedeh County, Republic of Liberia. Mr. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, Alphonso. Good morning.
All right. Okay, well, as usual, we always like to hear from our people so that we'll be able to know exactly what you are doing here as a person representing their interests. All right, how is the county overall? Tell us here a little bit.
Well, Alphonso, in my candid opinion, I strongly believe that our people are happy. The people of Gedeh County are very happy. The reason for that is that the president, the current president, President George Weah, received something approximately around 96% of the vote in Gedeh. Therefore, it is a total belief that the person or the individual that they actually desire of becoming the president of Liberia, that person it is today. Our people are happy because, generally speaking, they tell us, well, we are not worried about jobs, whether we are excluded from the appointments, whether we have road paved coming to Gedeh, is not our worry. Our people generally tell us that.
Are they realistic in that?
I think they are realistic. They are realistic for the love they got for the current president. That they want to see him president of the republic, and the fact that he is the president of the republic, they are happy. So whatever policy the government come up with, whether they will be implemented, whether will not be implemented, the point is the individual that we want is the president.
Okay, politically now you let the cat out of the bag, Honorable Senator, and you, like you rightfully say, and we have been following the trend. Gedeh has voted for CDC, the current ruling party, overwhelmingly 2 times now. That vote has three times. That vote has said resonated with some sort of political backing in terms of the number of Grenadians, perhaps ministers, directors, or senior government officials. Has that resonated with this government as far as you are concerned?
Well, I'll tell you yes. I'll tell you yes. Because if you look at the list of appointments in government, we have slots. We have slots. And you know, it is the entire country. So you cannot be so ungrateful to demand for specific numbers or for specific, kind of individuals. So I think we are accommodated. Fully, we are accommodated. We have a minister in government. All right, Pisota is the minister of gender, and you know that is a very important ministry. All right, yeah. We have so many Ghanaians at deputy minister level, at assistant minister level, at head of public agency. So I think the accommodation it was well looked into.
Okay, let's come to the overall county development agenda type for Gedeh County. The take us inside the caucus itself. What is the current working relationship with members of the caucus? I just had a privilege to talk to Senator Marsha Dennis when we heard, but I'd like to hear from the House's more, and he was fatigably clear that he has withdrawn from the caucus. What's going on with him in the caucus?
Well, some times ago, I can tell you that I was heading the caucus. I was chair. And I've been chair of the caucus since 2015. I had cordial working relationship with all members. I managed to have the caucus together. But
is it together now?
Well, it's kind of difficult to make a general conclusion. I think there is some kind of rivalry. There's some kind of rivalry, personality test.
Politics as usual factor in?
Well, politics, yes, politics.
Personal interest.
Personal interest. People believe that, somebody did not give them the kind of support they deserve at the time they were, in competition for the position.
I don't understand it, not to interrupt you, Honorable Senator, because I think politics is a tough game, not for children, and so you will never over, even sometimes your own wife or your son will be at a different level, but when it's over, I think the deal should be done and move forward.
Definitely. I think too that Gedeh is the bigger picture. Whatever differences I have with people, for the sake of our county, we need to bury that, or we need to push that aside and work. We as leaders, we must be aware that we have a significant role to play in the development of the country, be it at the political office, be it at your private consultancy, be it at your farm, your personal investment. Collectively, we need to work together. As leaders of the country, we need to drive that development. We need to drive the opinion. But it suggests to me that, imagine somebody will still have they cannot believe that.
How can this county then move forward? From the little what I'm hearing now and folks that we have talked to us, so take me inside your caucus session or your meeting. Do you guys shake hands? Is it been just a ceremonial thing, or is it from the heart from which the people of Gedeh elected you guys to do their job?
Well, I think we do shake hands, we laugh, but I think all of those are on the basis of the seats, in my personal judgment. Well, as you rightly said and disclosed to me, I said that Dennis told you that he has withdrawn from the caucus. I don't know whether he told you the reason why. I turned over the chairmanship of the caucus some months ago, and I wrote an official communication giving reasons. Some of the reasons were because 2020 I'm not going for re-election. I am not going for re-election 2020. And the reason for which I decided, because all of us, members of the caucus, we are equally qualified, we have the same status, and so I believe that any one person can be chair to lead the caucus. All right? A chair does not have absolute authority. No. You don't write absolute, letters, whatever you are communicating. Yes. So anybody can, become chair of the caucus. I told everybody that, look, I have to work on my exit strategy. That required a lot of stuff, visitation. I'm leaving come 2020. There are a couple of things that I think I need to catch up with. Before, I don't want to just leave a vacuum. If I'm leaving from here, the next senator that's coming must be able to have something to read, to know what we did, how far are we, how our input been on most of some of these bills, whether they are ratification, financing agreement, whether they are laws to create districts and magisterial courts, whether they are concession agreements. There are things that we need to do. And I didn't want to hold on to the caucus, to hold on to the chairmanship, when those things that are actually supposed to sit at caucus chair, and I don't have the time to do it. That will be a disservice to the county, that will be a disservice to the group.
I think you've been very honest.
So I've been very honest with that. But our brother and friend told you that he has resigned from the caucus. I don't know. How can that be? Because you are a lawmaker of the county.
And that was the same question that
I
posed to you. I said you were elected by the people, now you have resigned. Have you informed the people, or will you do that? But my understanding that decision will come. And I asked why, what was his colleagues, and it was fatigantly bold to tell me that you were the only person that reached out. That itself suggests to me something is not going right.
Well, Mr. So, in my personal life.
Are you disappointed of the action?
Oh yes, I'm really disappointed. Why? Because I believe that no matter how much you have in your personal saving, you cannot build Rangere. I don't care how much you have, you alone cannot build a town. I think building Rangere requires the collective efforts of all citizens, with the leaders of the county driving that agenda. So if you come and say, well, I don't want to be a member of the caucus, then it means that you want to work as an individual. And I think working as an individual, you're not going to make any good impact. And that's what I've tried over the period to make sure that we come together so that our collective efforts will leave legacy behind if our tenure expires. That has been my call always. This is why even if people, out of emotions and or out of personal feelings, if they go and make some statements, I try to quiet that down by not dignifying some of those statements. Because by the time your friend make a statement, you want to respond, and then you know everybody having some a number of loyalists, and that will come in defense because something happened today. You find people who are not even lawmakers want to respond from out students that have not even understand the issue, but because this person is their master and they have to defend the person. So whether they understand the issue or not, yeah, they blow it out of proportion. But I think generally, my brother has to see reason to reconsider the decision. Because I told you, you are the senator. You are the senator. And by the time I leave, you become the ranking senator. You become the senior senator. The new senator coming in, you got to provide the guidance. And you are senator of the county, you must be able to direct.
Moving forward, Senator Gaye, from what I'm hearing from you, this seems to be something that is mind-boggling, and it could be me too. Is that something you're going to push to make sure that Senator Dennis...
Yes, we had a conversation some 2 days ago in my office, and I told him, well, I don't think the decision... In fact, when I saw what he wrote us in our Senate chat room, immediately I sent you a text. Yeah, I sent you a text. I said, Senator, this action, it will be a disservice to our country. Whatever that bothers you, that made you to reach the decision, we can sit on the table and resolve it. You cannot be an ally. Because I'm talking about, I know how the plenary works in the Senate. And if you don't have people who are composed, you are humiliated. And as a result, you will be dodging the plenary. And when you dodge the plenary, obviously, your county is not represented. Right. So if you are the senior senator, you need to be well composed. You need to get the support of your colleagues so that you sit down. If there is a bill, you look at the bill in the context of what will my county benefit? What will we benefit out of the bill? Before we can support it. You can't just be a mere cheering squad. That has been my call always. And I told him we have to talk about it.
And basically politics is all about backing. But let us just do a little bit backtracking here. Now you are, I've heard it from myself, I've been hearing it from that, but now you are exiting, you are not going from re-election 2020. What are Senator Gaye?
Alphonso, the term of a senator, 9 years. I think 9 years in an office is sufficient to give way for another person to come.
That's a difficult. Not a lot of people make such a decision.
But Alphonso, that's the Alphonso Gaye. That's the surprising thing about Alphonso Gaye. Alphonso, in 2005, I tendered in a resignation, a USAID, the American embassy, that I want to go into politics to serve my people. That was a lucrative job. That was a job that I had up to retirement, as long as you are honest and dedicated. You from the U.S., when you work in the U.S. government system, honesty, number one. Once you are honest and you are committed to your job, you have a job for life. But that was something I felt I had reached my peak at that institution. So I thought to gain an experience and go into politics. So I made a decision to come.
Do you think that have paid off well?
Yes, it has paid off. You know the reason why? If you want to do a survey among the 30 senators and you ask for ranks, I guess some people are going to tell you that Senator Alphonso Gaye is one of the ranking senators among us because of my contribution on the floor. I came here with a career, Alphonso. I came here with very good experience. I've worked in and out of Liberia. So I trust my ability. Alphonso, I went back to the universities and taught people who are prominent people in this country today. So my legacy is visible.
Now a lot of people do that. So what should we specifically remember of Senator Alphonso Gaye when he leaves 2020?
What you will specifically remember is that since Grand Gedeh was created as a county in 1964, Alphonso Gaye has committed personal resources to community development than any other Grand Gedeh citizen. That's why you're going to remember. Every district in Grand Gedeh, my mark is there. And then you know that I was not the only person that became prominent in Grand Gedeh. There were a lot of people before me. So since Grand Gedeh was created as a county in 1964, Senator Alphonso Gaye has committed more amount of resources from a personal.
You work for an American institution, like you rightfully say, let us adapt a little system and see whether it is applicable. Now, you will be leaving 2020. Who do you desire saying, take it where you are start, where you're going to be stopping and where you're going to be doing? Because part of that will also depends on your legacy as a senior senator, outgoing senior senator. Who do you have in mind to occupy this office?
Well, Alphonso, that would depend on people that are desirous of entering this office.
Okay, let me just throw two names that
well, two names will be insufficient to make a judgment.
No, that are just for discussion purposes. Okay. I'm hearing Dr. Bolle, who just a member of the representative now of Grand Gedeh, he's contemplating. I'm hearing Representative Zopeno, Walanyanu, and the list goes on and on and on. I've never been spoken with you as a guy who will be leaving, say, hey, I need your support.
Well, Mr. Young paid a courtesy call on me. He did not come to ask for support. He wanted to confirm whether indeed what he was hearing, whether it's true. I told him yes, it's true.
And what did he say?
He said, well, he has an interest.
Which means he needs your support?
No, that's not what he said. He asked me, what do I expect? I want to go into the grave. What do I expect? And based on my experience, I told him, because first, I went into the election in 2005, and I failed. Then I went 2011 and won. Then I'm serving as senator, now up to 8 years. So I think when it comes to election in Grand Gedeh, and when it comes to implementing legislative responsibilities, I think that I have a master's degree in that. Understanding the people of Grand Gedeh, what they like, what they don't like, then I think I have a very good experience that I can tell somebody, this is how the picture looks like. It is you that will look at that picture and either transform it to work in your favor.
So as far as you are concerned, he's the only person that have come forth to say, just to ask you that question.
Oh yes, I've been hearing that Representative Penham is running, or will be running. Yes, I don't think Honorable Penham needs to come to me. The reason is he is a sitting representative. He has won that seat 3 different times. So I think he has a very better understanding of what he's supposed to do, the expectation of the people. I don't think he needs to come and ask me.
Is there any political implication or any impact by virtue of William Yano, who served the Grand Gedeh Association, and some of us look at his record, he's one of the decent leaders that led the Grand Gedeh Association, but he coming here to first of all verify, does that have an impact on your decision-making process when it comes to those that
Oh, well, definitely before you make a decision, you need to study the situations.
So he's on the right path.
He's a prominent person, well educated, experienced. I mean, those are people you look for to occupy position of trust. Same as Honorable Pedro. He has.
It seems to me you are desiring he's willing to sit behind his decks.
Well, no, I don't want for that impression to be given. I don't want that impression to be given because in political election, people look at the timing. Some people believe that it's too early now to make a declaration. Some people believe that I'm in the middle of something. I want to have it completed before I make a declaration. So there are a lot of people that believe that will still come. So it will be too premature at this time to make a judgment in my mind.
Okay. I know you have other things to do, but quickly let's look at some other international or national major issues. Now you are winding down as Senior Senator of Gedeh County. The road leading to your county is still an issue. As far as you are concerned, what is national government doing? When do we actually hope to see the roadway leading to Gedeh or the southeastern side to actively get on course?
Well, the issue of roads has been this government priorities since the inauguration on January 22nd. And before that, even the past government was committed to doing some doing roads, and some roads were done and completed. The past government also tried to mobilize funding. Our national budget will not be able to face any road here. It's so little. From all indications, from what I gather from Ministry of Public Works and other engineers, a very good all-weather road, 1 kilometer might cost you something around $1 million. So our budget, our internal revenue cannot do that. You got to rely on bilateral, multilateral institutions, federal government, and all of that. And it has been, in fact, in the annual message of the president, it was established that funding for the Tapetas Redwood Highway is being mobilized. The World Bank has committed some money. I think the German government also committed some money. And then counterpart funding, which will come from the government of Liberia through the road fund. They are all in progress. The fund is being collected for importers of petroleum product. They have that into the account, the escrow account. So there's nothing more that any other person can do besides what government is doing. So we have, a very good picture and they look very good to listen to. We hope it can be actualized in the shorter period. I just from home. And the condition of the road now, of course, cars are, going, the road is open, but any drop of rain for about, 6-7 hours, we'll go back to square one. In fact, it might even be worse than in 2018. So every now and then, I'm calling on the Minister of Public Works to get update. In fact, he and I were together the day before yesterday. And he continued to tell me that, yes, the funds are there, the procurement processes is ongoing, by the World Bank and all of that. So we just got to remain hopeful and continue to knock on the doors of the executive to get this done.
I hate to do this, but I'm hopefully to sit with you again before you leave office. What do you think, what was the worst administrative decision, if ever, do you want to share that? What was the decision made that you, after the decision to get them making a decision, be administrative decisions or anything that is memorable? Do you care to share that with us?
Well, I think I need to sit down and think about that.
Nothing on top of my head.
Nothing on top of my head. 7 years to remember what you have done. Just outright 7 years ago that, as I told you.
Do you have a specific goal, mission to achieve before you leave 2020 that you want to share with us as a senator?
I do have, as I told you, there are some community projects still on my mind, and I think I still have time, for them. because I want to see them live. Some of them were built, years back, and the community, we did not, actually maintain them. And because for the sake of legacy and for the sake of my own happiness, I want to see some of those things. So we have to commit some resources to. It's so discouraging that you invest in something and then and the community fail to take ownership, and then it's down the drain. So well, these are all part of life. These are all part of leadership. And sometimes you regret for doing something, but for your own happiness and to, for your own legacy, that I want something should be standing. So you will continue to commit personal resources. Despite it's owned by the community, despite it's owned by the county authority, but it is your dream and you want to see that dream live. So there are some little community projects that we have invested in some time ago. We want to still commit some resources.
Cite 2 examples for the benefit of my audience.
Well, one is I constructed a resource center for the county. And that resource center is now being run by the Amuru Forum, some institution, civil society institution in Gedeh. The building is there. We completed the building, bought computers and all of that. But the way, the level at which I want to see it has not reached. Because they were designed in such a way to have a reading room, a little like a mini library, where Alphonso can get his read down, and you can go, to that little mini room. You have magazines, you got newspapers, and you have a couple of things that he can refresh his mind, maybe while waiting for somebody. They have an internet place where you can go instead of sitting on the sidewalk. Even though there are little places, some of our youth running, there are little private places to go to those things here and there. But we built a former, good structure, concrete structure. So you have a room there for internet. You can go on and do your browsing and all of that. And there's a room for television. Most of our youth now, if you ask for the generation of Ronaldo or Messi, they will tell you. They will tell you. They will tell you how much Messi is making every week. But there, when you ask who is the Minister of Finance, they don't know. They won't be able to know. If you ask who is the Superintendent of most of the county, they won't know.
What is responsible for that?
Because their focus is being, it's being overwhelmed by footballs, all the Nigerian show, and all of that. So we put a room, for international news. Right. That facility is only going to show.
Men will go there to capture something.
Yeah, that it was intended that room is going to have television. We're placing one television, but we want them to have at least 2 or 3 maximum, so that you have, the BBC. You can look at BBC News. You look at Al Jazeera, CNN, the China TV, and be able to listen to global news. To be on top of, the development, of the world. That is my dream. And not just Nigerian show, not just Messi, and Rolando, and because we don't call Salita Dubai and other police. Okay. All right. So that is my dream. So I'm still committed to pumping some little resources.
Okay. Before, Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, Senator, you are diversified development in Gedeh County. And what I'm saying that you will help Smart FM to have a structure in Gedeh City. And now, do you have the idea, gearing towards in building a communication center or a broadcast station, or have a own newspaper in Gedeh County after retirement?
Well, I don't think of having one for myself. Well, take for instance, you are already given Smart FM as an example. Smart FM was broadcasting from a dilapidated continuum left behind by Labrador Telecom, and that continuum was used for their few depot. And I felt that facility was not the face of Gedeh. Knowing us to be very proud people, people who, when they find themselves in any gathering, they are noticed because we are progressive people. I thought that was not the face of it. And that's what I committed approximately close to something around $30,000 to $35,000 to build that structure for Smile FM. I think if I'm not mistaken, Smile FM is the only community radio station that is broadcasting now from a concrete building. Very good studio, got offices, got fresh toilets.
When I came 2015 during the Women Day, I saw that.
Yeah.
Very, very
All right. So those are the kind of things I, as I said, that I still have on mind, to develop, to reach my dream, and not to have, radio station or have my own.
What will
newspaper.
you be doing, Senator Alphonso, after retirement 2020? What would be your role? What will you be doing precisely? Do you want to share that with us?
Yes, as I told you, Alphonso, I was once a teacher, and I taught people at university level. I even taught a class at the graduate school, in the Cottington Graduate School in the county. So I can still, and during the campaign when I was in Gedeh, the community college called me and
volunteer?
I volunteered and I taught an accounting course for them. So I can be a teacher, I can go back to be a lecturer. I know at the university.
Yeah, that's quite impressive because that's what former U.S. officials, they can be former presidents, senators, and they go back to that. We don't see that happening here. What I'm hearing from you, I hope that happens.
So I could go back to be a lecturer at any of the university or colleges around here, especially in Gedeh. Secondly, I'm involved in the farming. I have some private investment. I want to see myself to, sleeping on the farm, living with my workers. I have something close to 100.
This nice air condition to live on a farm.
Oh yeah, because the farm will have the same air condition. I have the ability to do that, Alphonso. If I go on the farm, I want to appear like somebody is chasing me out of my village. Every comfort that I need will be there before I leave this office, because it's been worked on, and it's been worked on, for a couple of times. So, I mean, if I'm in Monrovia, I would not miss Gedeh. If I'm in Gedeh, I would not miss Monrovia. If I'm in the town, I would not miss my farm. If I'm on my farm, I would not miss Gedeh. So, I mean, that life has already been built. There's no question about that. It doesn't require looking for new resources to do that. Alphonso, I'm the kind of person, this is why most people will have problems with Alphonso because of my orientation. I'm a very organized person. If you want something done, come to me. Let's discuss about it. And let me see your plan. Let me see how you want to achieve it. I can give support. But to just this morning and go on the capital bypass and get open agreements and start to divide, no. So people might say Alphonso Gaye is a very mean fellow. Yes, I agree with them. That he's a very mean fellow. But me in the context that he doesn't lavish money. Because I did not born with silver spoon. Alphonso, I was born in the village. So my parents, they didn't know what they call pen. They didn't know what it called stool. They didn't know what 11 and 9 and I come. I was born in the village. I did everything in the village.
There was no retirement savings.
There's no retirement savings all the time. So who am I? Do I pretend to our citizens or to other people that I'm somebody that always was spoon? To get me at this level is based on my own serious patience and sacrifice. I cut palm nut. I cut bitter roots. I brush farm. I fell trees. I lack track. I used single barrel when the bush to hunt. I did all of that. So today, when things are rough in Monrovia, Alphonso, I can retreat to the village and I'll live a very fine life. Even in the city where I live now, I'm not a lover of cabbage. I'm not a lover of cherry rice and gravy. So I still eat my okra without oil. I like my bitter oil and okra mix and make a soup. I eat my palava sauce without oil. So so I don't miss anything.
It looks like you're going to be taking a break on politics. I don't think that's going to be the full conclusions of Senator Gaye. Probably after a couple of years, we're going to see you emerging.
Well, who knows, Alphonso, it's good to be called to duty. Yeah, you are honored when you are called to duty. Okay. And not to run and behind people that I want to be this. Yes. We'll give the, our county, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Let the other citizens the benefit of the doubt. Senator Yamo served, he left. I'm serving. If I leave, somebody else will come. It will give the citizen an opportunity to make comparison and how were their leadership. And that's what I want.
What folks, I'm Alphonso so in the offices of the Senior Senator of Gedeh County, the Honorable Alphonso Gaye, will be leaving this beautiful office. I imagine, I don't know what I want to make such a decision, but I will be leaving 20. But before we leave.
Before you do that, Alphonso, before you do that, I'm a professional accountant. And financial management is an area where I worked for a very long time. And so right now, as you see me, and over the years, I run a consultancy. So my consultancy office will be more beautiful than this. And then I guess in the next 12, 13 months, if you come back to Liberia, I will take you. I will take you to see my office. So Alphonso Gaye is not somebody when he leave Capital Building and then he get the car in the morning.
He's not a one-way man.
No, it's not a one-way man. You know, leave Capital Building, I'll leave from a house in the morning and run to Benson Street and leave from Benson Street and go to Broad Street and from Broad Street, then go back home. No, I will have an office where the same way you were ushered in. People will be there to usher in.
Honorable Senator, what is your final word to your kinsmen, both in the youth, both here and especially in the diaspora, what we just don't get about our country that perhaps we just want to read there? Well, I know you have said that, you have been there over and over, but what do you expect from the citizens, especially those of us in the diaspora, including myself?
You know, Alphonso, in the past, many years ago, our people, we were born in the villages, as I told you. Everyone that came from Monrovia, or everyone that lived in Monrovia had the impression that the people were educated. That they were educated. It's the same belief today that people in the diaspora will consider them to have the best education, to have the best skills. And so we rely on them. We heavily rely on them, their opinion, their suggestions, and their guidance. My word to them is, it's good to institutionalize your ideas, which they have done. Very good, very successful. Ranking Association, with all the other branches, these sections, from the districts, and they are all well organized. Because they should not allow politics to override the whole idea of we are putting ourselves together to help our people. When politics override, then it's a problem. And that's what I see. Politics is overriding the whole objective of let's put ourselves together to help our people back home. I think they need to rethink, they need to relook at that.
All right, folks, that does it this evening. We want to thank the office staff of the Senator and the Senator himself for having this exclusive with us. And we hope this is going to get a sense of our people. And we in the media is also on an obligation when we come around here, regardless of our other personal business, to take off time to speak with our leaders in order to get their side of the story. I'm Alphonso in this beautiful office of the Senator, Senior Senator of Gedeh County, the Honorable Alphonso. Thank you so much, Honorable Senator, for granting us.
Thank you, Alphonso. Thank you so much.
Have a blessed evening.